Please put your hands together for Domel Salarka, everybody.
How do we keep it going for Dave?
Yeah.
I really appreciate what hosts and MCs like Dave do because I don't think I'd be able to do it. You know, I'm not a comic who does a lot of crowd work, and I think part of that's just because I'm not really good at small talk. Like, for example, hi. How's it going? Okay. How's your week going? Now you ask me about my week. And that's how 90% of my small talk goes, so that's why I've stopped doing small talk, and now I only do something called big talk. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Hi. Good, how's it going? Good, how's your week going? See? It's going well, or at least it was going well until I was listening to some music today. And you know that song Tiny Dancer by Elton John comes out? And you know, when that song came out, he must have been like 25. And by then he was already one of the biggest rock stars in the world, right? And when I was a kid, I had so many dreams and so many things I wanted to do. And you know, now I'm in my 30s and I've achieved nothing that I've wanted to. And done nothing that I wanted to. And the few dreams that I do have, you know, I can feel them slipping away a bit. And then soon they'll be gone. And then I'll have nothing, and then I'll be hollow, and then I'll be dead. Do you ever feel like that sometimes? And that's big talk. Now, you might be wondering why. Big talk, more uncomfortable, more awkward? Yes, but it will save you hours of small talk. Because if you do big talk just once, I guarantee it, nobody will ever fucking talk to you again. A little about me. I'm not originally from Ottawa. I am from Toronto. And if you ever want a cool trick to know if someone's from Toronto or not, we'll just tell you. But when I moved to Ottawa right before the pandemic, I really wanted to lay down my roots here. You know, I really wanted to be in Ottawa. And so when me and my wife moved here, we wanted to know what was the best thing about Ottawa. You know, so we asked friends we had who moved here, friends who grew up here, we asked colleagues, we must have asked maybe 10 to 15 people, and we learned that the best thing about Ottawa is Montreal. I'm obviously a person of color, and you know, people of color, depending on where they're from, they'll have different experiences based on their heritage, their parents' heritage. But one thing all of us have in common is that when you're the only person of color in the room, the only thing people will talk to you about is racism. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been the only brown person in a room with like 15 or 20 people, and someone will come up to me and be like, God, I miss Obama. They'll start apologizing for like shit other white people did. Like, someone came up to me at a party not so long ago and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about Justin Trudeau's black and brown face. You must have been so mad. Like, they were the ones who lent him their copy of the VHS copy of Aladdin the night before. And you know what? I was mad. I was mad about the black and brown face. I wasn't mad that he did it. I was mad that when I sent my mom a photo of it, the first thing she texts back is, hey, at least he's trying to be Indian. Where most people saw a racist face paint, my mom saw effort. A little more about me. My wife and I, we had a kid before the pandemic as well. So maybe, I'm sure one of the first things you realize, do I love kids? I mean, she's there. I do love my daughter. But one of the first things you realize is how smart they are, right? Because for the first year, they can't really talk. They can't talk to you at all, right? The only way they can get your attention is by crying. So in those first few months, you can really hear them experiment with their pitch and tone, trying to find the perfect cry that'll make you want to kill yourself. My daughter, she's biracial as well. My wife is white. As I previously stated, and not. And what a lot of people don't realize about biracial kids is that, when you mix two different races, two different ethnicities, a lot of the times that mix will not be 50-50. Oftentimes one side is expressed more than the other. And my daughter, she came out white. It's like my Indian DNA, so my wife's white European DNA, and was like, I ain't doing that shit again. I mean, my daughter, she's so white, her first words were, "Can I speak to your manager, please?" One of the first things I also became more aware of when I had a kid was I became much more aware of creeps. Like, for example, there's a school in our neighborhood and the teacher there was arrested for assaulting a 15-year-old. Yeah, and I'm telling this to a friend of mine, someone who I hadn't seen since before the pandemic, before I had a kid, telling him essentially there's a pedophile in our neighborhood. And he stops me and says, technically they're not a pedophile, they're an ephebophile, because they're attracted to children who are post-pubescent, who already developed their secondary sexual characteristics. This is in contrast to pedophiles who are attracted to children who are prepubescent. In the middle are hebophiles who are attracted to children undergoing puberty. And as he's talking, I realized almost immediately that I want him nowhere near my child.